Hello everyone, it's Mark Shalero, the owner of MS Classic Cars, and I have an amazing vehicle to present to you today. This is a 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS Supercharged LT4 that's riding on a Roadster Shop spec chassis. So if you come a little bit closer here, this is an absolutely stunning 70s Chevelle. For anybody who follows MS Classic Cars or who is just seeing us for the first time, please note that I do specialize in Chevelles from all generations, but my favorite Chevelle, as most people's, would be the 1970. We do collect factory correct restored Chevelles. We've sold many over the years. I'm very experienced with those cars. Those cars have been certified by Jerry McNeish, by Chris White, by Rick Nelson, and so forth. But on the other side of the spectrum, I am also really involved with the custom classic car market, and we've had some spectacular 70s Chevelles that are custom. One thing that I would like to say about this particular car, in our description when I was writing it and doing all the highlights, I said this Chevelle is for all the people. And what I meant by all the people was this is a perfect blend of original and custom. It falls kind of right in the middle of the road, and I think it's going to draw a ton of attention because of that aspect. So let's just kind of go around the car. I am going to use my LED flashlight just to kind of highlight any imperfections, kind of give everybody an overview of what this car is. I'm super excited to talk about it. And then we're going to end at the engine compartment. I'm going to go over some of the details there, so hang around during this video to get a full presentation of the car. So the first thing I want to say about this car is it does retain its original build sheet. So the car was born a real super sport. It was an L34, which is the 396, 350 horse drivetrain. It actually had an automatic transmission with a console shifter. It was a factory AC car. Kind of cool that it spent its entire life in Texas until 2022 before it found its way to the last owner. We purchased this car from the last owner, who's actually a friend of ours. He owns a body shop right in Rhode Island, loves to do 1970 Chevelles. He does a few cars every few years. He's the one that deserves the credit for actually building this car. His name is Styles Gilmore. Definitely want to give him credit. And what we do at MS Classic Cars with every vehicle that we own, we take great pride in being the only dealership in the country, and I'm referring to a classic car dealership, who goes through every vehicle that we purchase in service, because they all need to be sorted out, every single one of them, whether they're factory correct or whether they're custom. We've got a group of amazing mechanics that only work on our cars, and then not only do we go through them, but we document the work. Okay, that's what we hang our hat on at MS Classic Cars, is we document the work that we do to every car, so when the new owner gets this vehicle, there's not one thing that they have to do to the car. If by chance we miss anything at all, or something happens with coincidence, once it comes off the trailer, after they take the plastic cover off of it, we stand by the vehicle. So I'll be very clear, I will pay the parts, I will pay the labor to repair anything that doesn't work. That's how confident I am with everything that goes through our shop. Okay, so that's kind of the story of this car. After Styles had got the car, it was a car that had been restored in 2020, and it was done to more of a factory specification, if you will. He wanted to take this car to a completely different level, wanted to not only bring the quality of the restoration up higher, but he wanted to make it the ultimate resto mod. So I'm going to get into some of the features here as I use my flashlight as well. We're going to start. It's believed that this vehicle does have most of its original sheet metal. Styles thinks it has all the original sheet metal with maybe just a little bit of patchwork. So that's kind of what we're going by with now. But starting with this hood, this is a cowl hood. Obviously on a 1970 Chevelle, and the guys in the detail room did a beautiful job refinishing the paint with paint correction. We have a really good system to make these cars look like glass when we're finished. I don't see one single imperfection. There's going to be a little bit of dust here and there that's in the showroom, but this has got a really nice paint job. This car is not so perfect that somebody would never want to use it, but it clearly is a show quality car. So I don't see anything, even the tiniest little imperfection anywhere on this hood. There could be a few little nibs that are in the clear coat, but nothing that would be a scratch or chip or anything like that. Like, see, even this piece here, that's just dust. Okay, so looking down at the front grille, that is a brand new factory reproduction grille with the bold SS emblem. We have our Sylvania headlights. Okay, there's 4 headlights, which makes the 70 Chevelle iconic from the front. It wasn't until 1971 they changed it to a single headlight, and then 72. That is a new bumper in the front there, fully chrome bumper. I don't see anything to mention on this car. It is absolutely high show quality in the front. Making our way over to the driver's side fender here. This is in absolutely beautiful condition. You can see that Fathom Blue metallic really, really pop. Again, not one single imperfection here. Just absolutely beautiful. Now, while we're on the subject of the front fender, how can we miss those wheels? Those are absolutely beautiful Forgeline wheels. For anybody that doesn't know Forgeline, one of the top names in the alloy wheel business. Those are custom made. This is a graphite centerpiece here, and this is a brushed polished lip. I love that look. You can't help to see the 13-inch Bear brakes. Bear is one of the best names in the business. Those are black 4-piston calipers, and those are drilled and slotted rotors. And our favorite tire at MS Classic Cars, matter of fact, we put different tires on this car. We thought it gave it a different look, different feel. These are the Firestone Firehawk Indy 500 tires. We love those tires at MS Classic Cars. Now, one of the things that we did when the car was in our service department here is we added the LT4 Supercharged badge. I thought that was the perfect application to the original SS emblems that are on the front fenders, okay? When we look at the glass on this car, the glass is all brand new, okay? So that was one of the things that Styles did when he got the car. He replaced all the glass brand new. All of this stainless trim is also brand new. I would say it fits really nicely around this front windshield. Okay, obviously the cowl trim here was replaced as well. The drip rail moldings are absolutely in beautiful condition. These are obviously have been replaced. When I look at the roof of this vehicle, again, I don't see one single imperfection in the paint. Again, I'm referring to chips, deep scratches, things of that nature. Again, this is a relatively new restoration with very little miles, so you wouldn't expect a ton of road rash, but just want to make sure we're clear. Now, as we look at the driver's door, which, by the way, when I open it and show you how nice it closes, that's definitely a highlight I want to review. But for now, we're going to get down here. It's got brand new door handles. One key works every door cylinder, ignition, and trunk. Beautiful condition. Okay, it even fits really well right here. There's a couple areas you probably would never notice it, but if you catch it at the right light, you could get a slight run in the clear coat. Again, a lot of vehicles have that. It's just a matter of getting involved with wet sanding if somebody really wants to take care of it, but sometimes you can take a little bit of chances with wet sanding. But new mirrors, which are obviously on both sides. Check this out. This door, it's an absolutely great fit. Not always the case with these cars. As we make our way to the interior here, just want to do a quick highlight of the interior. The headliner is brand new. It's tight. It doesn't have a lot of wrinkles. Even down by where the sill panels are tight. Functioning dome light. sun visors are new, rear mirrors new dash pad. At MS Classic Cars, we actually did indeed replace the entire dash. We just thought that the original dash that had been dyed was just not reflective of the overall quality of the car, so we did replace the entire dash. It does have Dakota digital VHX gauges, which are discreetly kind of hidden. So once again, if somebody was looking at this car from the outside, it looks just like a 70 Chevelle Super Sport. And then when they look at the interior, other than a few custom appointments, it really is like a factory Chevelle, which I think is going to appeal to a lot of people. So if you look back at the dash here, and again, you can reference all of our photos of this entire car on our website at msclassiccars.com, but you'll see we do have a tilt steering column. That is a GM column. We did add this Budnik steering wheel. That's a G10 is what Budnik calls it. Notice that it's the same color graphite that matches the Forgeline wheels. That's a 15.5-inch steering wheel. It does have a custom auto sound stereo system, which I believe also has Bluetooth. What they've done is they've incorporated Kenwood speakers in the kicker panels. That's a really cool application. But it does have all factory door panels, factory rear seat. Obviously, it's been all reupholstered, seat belts, roll-up windows, all that kind of stuff. But the car was outfitted with these seats, which are made by TMI. These are a really nice seat. They got some great bolsters. They're white, so they match the interior. You got your floor console shifter there with your Hurst shifter. We did add the Chevelle custom floor mats. It also at MS Classic Cars, we did replace all the carpeting in this car. Just weren't real happy with the way the carpeting fit, so we went ahead and we replaced it all. That's brand spanking new. You will also notice on the dash the vintage air conditioning panel that's really added, again, discreetly there, but it does have ice cold air conditioning. So the important factors: bucket seats, console with floor shift, tilt steering wheel, beautiful steering wheel itself, sound system, and AC. It's really all that you need. And these seats have seat extensions, which allow for taller drivers to be able to have more room when you get inside the car. So again, spot on with this entire interior. And again, that door shuts beautifully. These gap lines here are really good, okay? I would say they're really good. When we get again our flashlight here, the quarter panels are in flawless condition. I don't see any chips. I don't see any scratches or nothing. Again, making our way over to these Forgeline wheels. These are 20-inch wheels. Again, graphite, brushed lip, 13-inch bare brakes, the black calipers, and of course, the Firestone Firehawk Indy 500 tires I mentioned earlier. They're definitely a little bit of a staggered wheel, so obviously the wheels in the back are bigger than the wheels in the front, but we made sure with this whole entire platform that this car sits on, we don't get any rubbing and so forth. As we make our way back to the side here, and again, the glass on the side, the door glass and the rear quarter glass is brand new. It rolls up really nice, not always the case with these cars. We spend a lot of time getting involved with repairing cars that the windows don't roll up and down very well. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth with most cars. Now, as we get to the back here, again, this is a brand new windshield in the back, and the chrome is brand new around it. It looks awesome. If I were to be really fussy, again, I could argue the fact that maybe there's a little bit of a gap here between the rear quarter and this panel and this piece. But again, I'm only being super, super picky. 99% of people would probably never even care or even notice that. I just want to try to be, as forthright as possible. Now, as we're looking at the back here, again, I'm looking for any chips, any scratches, any imperfections worth mentioning. Once again, other than a couple little nibs in the clear coat, and as an example, you won't probably see us in the camera, we have a nib. A nib is just a little tiny spot in the clear coat that, again, somebody could wet sand if they wanted to, but when you wet sand, you take chances of burning, and we definitely don't want to burn a car of this caliber. Now, in the back here, we have the brand new bumper, which incorporates those brand new taillights, the taillight bezels, these rubber strips here with the SS badge in the corner. Ultimate Chevelle look. You'll notice the chrome tipped exhaust, which come out a few inches under the bumper. Making our way over to the passenger quarter. Just a little smudge mark here, nothing. It's in stunning condition. Again, I haven't found one chip yet on this car, or scratch. And again, if you pull out your magnifying glass, I might have missed it, but for the most part, this is a high show quality car. Again, beautiful wheels and tires. They're perfect. Here, back to the roof. I don't see one single imperfection here. Beautiful drip rail moldings, even inside here, which sometimes can be a little sloppy, is clean. Again, look at these gaps. This door opens and closes beautifully, nice and tight. Good gap lines. I mean, just beautiful. I don't see anything at all. No dings, no dents, nothing. I mean, again, if I were to be very picky, again, I'm comparing this to, say, a car that was in the $300,000 price range that we've sold. Many people have seen the cars that we've sold. I would say if you were being extremely fussy and picky, you could argue the fitment between the door and the front fender, but sometimes when you get gaps that are at a high level like this car is, sometimes it's very tough to match them as you get lower, you know, depending on what was done during the restoration. But again, flawless. And this is the SS badge. It's got the LT4 emblem that we added. Getting over to the passenger fender here, again, it is absolutely flawless. I mean, I would describe this car about as flawless as you'll find. Again, look how clean everything is. Everything is super clean. Now, let's make our way to the heart and soul of this baby. This is where all the fun starts. So what we have here is we have the ultimate engine for the ultimate car. This is a supercharged LT4 that was purchased brand new. Styles actually ordered it from Summit Racing. This has been tuned somewhere in the 700 plus range. You can do that just by changing pulleys and doing tuning, which we do at MS Classic Cars, but this is the ultimate drivetrain. You'll notice in the back, it's got a custom cowl screen that's in the back there. You will notice that the firewall has been shaved. It is kind of like a gloss black, just as the inner fenders are. You will notice that the hood pivots on Eddy Motorsport billet aluminum hinges. And let me make one comment too, as we're going over all this. You'll notice that I'm not using any cheat sheets, okay? Everything that I've told you about this car is here. We own a lot of cars. Sometimes we can have 50, 60, 70 cars in our collection, and I'm responsible for basically buying everything at MS Classic Cars. And the cars get tucked away, they get covered, they go through service. I kind of get involved in the service process with Mike, the service manager. I get involved with the guys in the detail department. But when the cars come into the showroom, I really wrap my head around them. So all of the highlights and all the descriptions I have personally written. And today, again, everything I'm going over with you is just stuff that I've learned. It's how much passion that I have about each vehicle that I own, or whether it be a gas pump or a children's ride or a bicycle. I try to get as deep into these cars as I can. You'll notice that this car also has its original trim tag, which does indicate that the car was actually built the second week of May. I decoded the trim tag. This car actually was born green. It had a green vinyl top with a green interior. Obviously, that was changed to what you see here today, but we did leave the original trim tag on there. But back to the car here, you'll see that that bracket there, that's an ICT bracket that holds the computer for the LT4 engine. You'll see that remote oil filter, which is a really cool deal. Notice all these expensive braided and fitted lines and so forth. That's a FI Tech fuel pressure gauge. That is a Detroit Speed windshield wiper motor. This little component here, this is actually for the coolant for the supercharger, which they integrated to the firewall. We got the CPP clutch reservoir. We also have the polished master cylinder. Again, this is a GMS black intake here with a K&N filter. You'll notice this Holley setup here. This is actually the power steering pump reservoir. They did go through and change the belt to green. That's kind of a cool thing that a lot of guys are doing now, just to give the engine bay a little character. You'll see the compressor for the air conditioning, red Optima battery. These are great batteries. This is actually a show panel that's been covered here. This is by Custom Innovations, makes these show panels. They do a great job, but they tied in the details. So if you look at the build lines here, it kind of matches the supercharger lines on the top there. It's just the little things that sometimes make a big difference. The engine is actually cooled by a Graphite. This is a really expensive radiator. It's got dual electric Spall fans. It's another big name in the industry. So again, this is a really tasteful setup. The engine breathes through long tube ceramic headers into a 3-inch MagnaFlow exhaust system. Styles also purchased a brand new Tremec TKX 5-speed manual transmission, which is a great transmission. That's the newest and modern version of the Tremec transmission. It has a QuickTime bell housing. It also has an Overland drive shaft, which is a pretty popular company. Now, talking about the rear end. The rear end in this car is a 9-inch setup. It is a really expensive deal. It's got all the high-end components, 31 spline axles. It's got 355 gears. But all of that was part of the Roadster Shop Chassis deal. For anybody that doesn't understand Roadster Shop, and what it is, it's the leader, in my opinion, of chassis. They typically have a year wait. Sometimes it can be even longer. Their chassis are like 30 grand, especially when you get them powder coated satin black like this one is. And the chassis incorporates everything for the car. The front sway bar is an example. The rack and pinion steering, which this car has, is an example. The coilover adjustable shocks. These are Fox shocks. That package also included all the bare brakes. You can kind of plug and play when you order it what items you're looking for. It even incorporated the steel fuel tank that was part of that package. So again, the fact that this vehicle sits on a Roadster Shop chassis and has this drivetrain with all the things I've mentioned, it makes it truly awesome. So to wrap up this video, the only thing I can say, when again, getting back to what I said in the beginning of the video about all the people, is this is a vehicle that somebody, I'm just gonna, no offense to anybody who's older, 70 plus years old, but if a 75-year-old man or woman got in this car, turned the key, literally turned the key, there's no nonsense, they could get in it and they could drive it to the grocery store and drive it with ease, shut it off, shut it on. The clutch is super easy to operate. Transmission, turn the air conditioning on. At the same token, if somebody who's a little younger, maybe myself, I'm gonna be 50 years old next month, but somebody like myself said, you know what, I wanna get in this car and I wanna rip the streets. This engine with 700 horsepower will throw you back in the seat like nobody's business. Sometimes cars have way too much horsepower for the application, but not with this car. This car sits, again, on a Roadster Shop chassis. Everything was engineered to not only handle the power, but to brake, to stop, to steer, the whole kit and caboodle. So this is the ultimate deal. What I'm gonna do right now, just proof is in the pudding. This is an ice cold engine. Ice cold. We have not started this car in a few days. It's been sitting in this exact spot and it's an ice cold deal. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the hood, and what I'm gonna do is get in the car and just turn the key to end the video and show you how fast it starts when it's ice cold. Obviously when it's warmer, it even starts faster, but I'm gonna conclude the video on that. I want to say, if you have not signed up for our VIP newsletter, please do that. We have thousands and thousands of people that follow us through the emails. That's to get the quickest updates and everything. You can find that right on our website at msclassiccars.com. It's right in the top right-hand corner. We would also ask that you follow us on all of our social media platforms. We're very proud to say that we're a small company, but we already have over 500,000 followers and it's growing. We really would appreciate if you follow us, make comments, and hopefully one day we can earn your business, not just with a car or a truck or a motorcycle, but maybe it's even a tractor that you purchase. We do it all. We're very diversified in what we collect, American, European, whatever the case might be, but we appreciate you and we truly want to earn your business. So I'm gonna end this video on this cold start of this 70 Chevelle and fire it right up for you.